huge updates from Google and its I/O event that happened today. I'm going to get straight through it, peeps. So the first thing that's been announced is Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview. So a new version of this has been built out, and essentially they've said Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview. Today we're introducing a new version of our leading model with stronger performance on coding and complex reasoning tasks. They're optimized for speed and efficiency, better transparency and control, availability, and you can get it for free inside Google AI Studio. You can also use it inside the Vertex AI platform. By the way, if you want all the notes from today, it's inside the AI Success Lab, which is completely free. Link in the comments description. Just grab it and you can get all the free stuff, including how to build and basically automate anything with Gemini. So what else we got here? Well, there's more than I can actually say in one mouthful. So we've also got, for example, Gemma 3N that has been announced. So Gemma 3N Preview. This is apparently the most powerful, efficient, and mobile-first AI. And basically what this is about is introducing AI onto mobile devices, right? So it can actually work as like an agentic on-device AI that can deal with voice input, video input, etc. And it's a state-of-the-art open model. So you can see its ELO score right here. In terms of how it performs, it's very, very impressive because bear in mind, this is on your mobile, right? This is something that will be on your mobile, but at the same time is, in terms of benchmarks, outperforming GPT 4.1 Nano and Llama 4 Maverick on the chatbot arena ELO score. The only thing that's really beaten it is Claude 3.7. Alright, so for example, you can see here it says this chart ranks AI models by chatbot arena ELO scores. Higher scores indicate greater user preference, and Gemma 3N ranks highly amongst both popular, proprietary, and open models, as you can see right here. So Gemma 3N basically is working on mobile devices. You can see it's optimized for on-device performance, and also, it's got expanded multimodal understanding with audio. Basically, it can understand and process audio, text, and images, and offers significantly enhanced video understanding. Now, if you're wondering, okay, why are there so many new updates that have just come out? Well, it's because of the Google I/O event that's just been announced. It's just running, literally came out like a few hours ago, and they've basically unveiled all their new features as well. So, for example, we were talking about Gemini 2.5, Gemma 3N, Gemma API's already got some new updates as well, and a lot of this stuff you can get for free as well. On top of that, they have Veo 3 that's just been announced, but we'll come on to that later. So you see here as well, we've got improved multimodal capabilities, improved multimodal performance, particularly in Japanese, German, Korean, Spanish, and French, right? So if you check out some of these updates, they can actually switch between languages when you're using Gemma 3N on your phone. Crazy stuff, right? Let's open this up, this video. We'll just breeze through some examples here. So you can see here, for example, Gemma 3N for computer control. And basically what it's doing is it can actually control your device, right? So it's like an AI agent on your device using Gemma 3N that can open stuff up and start using your apps and all sorts of stuff, right? So if you say, for example, check the most recent photo in Pro Expense app, add a new expense with the amount and name shown in the receipt, then it's like, yeah, sure, mate, let's do that, right? And it actually does reasoning in terms of what it needs to do. So the first step is to check the most recent photo. I will open the photo app to do this. The photo app icon is visible on the screen, etc. And it's essentially looking through your phone, controlling your phone, and implementing all the stuff you've asked it to do. Absolutely wild, right? So you basically got Gemma 3N for mobile device control, which I've never seen before. I've seen browser use agents, I've shown plenty of those, I've shown plenty of computer use agents as well. Never seen it on a mobile device, which is pretty impressive, to be fair. So you can see examples here of how it's inputting the expenses, how it's working, etc. And how crazy the future is when it comes to all these updates. So this was just announced a few hours ago as well. What else do we have? So we've talked about Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview, and also if you want to get access to this as well, you can get access inside AI Studio, or you can go to OpenRouter if you want to code with it, and then if you go down to Google Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview 0520, aka the 20th of May, then you can get access to this model right here, right? And you see the benchmarks and how it's performing and which apps you can get access to directly. So we've got some absolutely wild updates. El Sueño Mexicano says, is this live real? Always see him live. Mate, I'm live 24/7. That's, even when I'm sleeping, I'm live. All right, so as we keep going now, we've talked about Gemini 2.5. We've talked about Gemma 3N as well. What else we got here? And so we also have Pro Deep Think, which is another update. So as if this wasn't enough, let me show you an example. So if we scroll down to the Deep Think section, by the way, all the video notes from today, if you want to check all this stuff out, all the resources, etc., I've linked to inside the AI Success Lab. Just go to the new Google I/O updates. It's all pinned at the top of the community. You can see here, so we've got Deep Think. Now, Deep Think is basically a new improvement inside Gemini 2.5 Pro that allows you to work better on reasoning tasks, right? So particularly for maths, for code, for multimodality, etc. And you can see some examples of the benchmarks right here. So Gemini 2.5 Pro is outperforming by a long way the old version. So let's pull these up, right? So if we look at the multimodal models for mathematics, we've got Gemini 2.5 Pro Deep Think, right? Versus the one that literally just came out like 2 weeks ago. And if you look at the maths charts here, so Deep Think is outperforming Gemini 2.5 Pro, which was already good and great for coding by a long, long way. By almost what, like, I'm no mathematician, I'd need Deep Think to help me figure it out, but I think about 30 or 40%. And then also we've got OpenAI O3, which is trailing behind. Like, look at the difference in benchmarks, and always take these with a pinch of salt, but look at the benchmarks between OpenAI O3 and Gemini 2.5 Pro. It's wild. Those are wild differences. 21.7% versus 49.4% for mathematics. And OpenAI O4 Mini, it's just not even in the race, mate. It's not even in the race. So let's have a look at another one. So this is coding. And we've got Gemini 2.5 Pro versus OpenAI O4 Mini. You can see how much better Gemini 2.5 Pro is outperforming all of these models, right? With Deep Think model introduced. Now, if we compare these side by side, you got 2.5 Pro at 71% versus 80%. So you're looking at about 10 to 15% difference right there. And then if we look at multimodality, this is pretty wild as well. So you can see almost a 10% increase between Gemini 2.5 Pro and 2.5 Pro Deep Think. So, a lot of stuff to go through today. And you've seen a lot of the updates already. Let's keep going now. So if we pull this up, what else we got here? So this is the other wild thing that's happening right now. So you've got deep search in AI mode. Now, if you're not familiar with what AI mode is, this is huge for the SEO industry. As a man who runs an SEO agency, I can tell you, this is why we just keep up on this stuff. Because if you don't, you know, one night, an update can change everything. So for example, if you look at this, right, we've got the update from Google on AI mode, right? And they've basically said AI in search, going beyond information to intelligence. Again, this is just an update from a few hours ago. And they've said, we're introducing new AI features to make it easier to ask any question in search, right? And so what you can see here is that basically it's bringing like a full immersive AI mode inside the searches here, right? So it still links to other websites, still links to Google Maps, etc. But basically, they are running AI mode in search, and starting today, they're rolling out AI mode in the US with no lab sign up required. So you don't need to opt in to this to get access, right? They basically said AI mode is our most powerful AI search with more advanced reasoning, multimodality, and the ability to go deeper through follow-up questions and helpful links to the web, right? And so if we look at this, this is a preview of what it looks like. As you can see, it's fully immersive, right? So you've got your normal Google search on the right hand side, all images, video, news, etc. But then you have AI mode that's very, very immersive inside this section over here. And here's the other thing. So it said deep search in AI mode. So for questions where you want an even more thorough response, we're bringing deep research mode capabilities into AI mode with deep search. So this is very interesting because now not only can you search with Google, but using deep search, you can get like a deep research report back instantly. And you're going to get much more detailed responses like you see right here. That brings up like full paragraphs, like a full blog post on the first page of Google. And additionally, you've got live capabilities in search for real-time help. So this is very interesting as well. Basically, you can do a visual search with Google Lens, right? Kind of like how you used to be able to do with images, and you still can. But basically, this allows you to search in real time. So you can pull up your phone and then be like, what else do I do to make this breach stronger? And it will tell you exactly what to do inside the AI search mode up here. What we've also got is the capabilities of Project Marina inside AI search, right? So what does that mean? Well, for example, what this will do is kick off a query looking across hundreds of potential places you could buy, right, with real-time pricing. So why would that be important? Well, let's say, for example, you're trying to get a ticket to the latest game or the latest concert, etc. Using this new update with agentic capabilities, you basically got a shopping assistant that can compare all the prices in real time. And you can imagine how much that would impact e-commerce, ticket suppliers, anyone selling a product that relies on like the latest updates or some sort of timing involved right there, right? So much going on. It's unbelievable. It's hard to keep up, to be honest with you. So we've also got custom charts and graphs. So when you need extra help crunching numbers and visualizing data, AI mode will analyze complex data sets and bring them to life. And there we go. All right. Miss My Genius Leads says you have a Calendly link. I love the content. Would like to talk to you about doing some build outs. Yeah, if you want to book in a free SEO strategy session, link in the comments and description. If you're interested in becoming a client or partnering with us as a white label supplier as well, then link in the comments and description. Feel free to get the SEO strategy session right there. Book it in. We look forward to jumping on a call with you. And you can just book in a call right there. Appreciate you asking. So we've talked about AI in search. We've talked about Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview. We have also talked about Gemma 3N. And we've also talked about the new Deep Think mode from Gemini 2.5 Pro. And you're going, Julian, surely there can't be anything else, right? Well, let me keep walking you through because there's more to talk about, right? So, for example, we've also got a new package. It's kind of like ChatGPT Pro, where we've got Google Ultra, right? And if you've never heard of this, it's because it's absolutely brand new, and it is a new Ultra subscription plan, right? So kind of like how ChatGPT Pro gives you, like, for $200 a month, a bunch of different tools that you can operate, but honestly, I don't think you get that much value from what I've seen. This seems to give you a similar sort of model, but it also gives you access to the most capable AI models and premium features, right? So let's run through this. Now, the one caveat that I want to say to this, because I would have upgraded and tried it right now if I could, is that you have to be in the US to be able to try this out. Now, I know it's going to get rolled out to other people, but as you can see right here, they say Google AI Ultra is available today in the US for $249.99 per month with a special offer for first-time users, 50% off your first 3 months. Now, who do I think is going to be using that? I mean, obviously, it's not going to be like a B2C model, right? I think that's going to be perfect for businesses, people want to be creative, people who are trying to be productive, etc. But if you're doing B2C, then you're probably not going to worry about this, right? And so that's basically it. So as we go through here, you can see all the different apps you get. So you get, for example, Gemini, you get, for example, Flow, you get, for example, Whisk, Notebook LM, Gemini and Chrome, Project Marina, and YouTube Premium. All right. So these are some of the tools that you get access to. And if you want direct access to it, you just sign up in the US for Google AI Ultra. Now, you might be wondering, what are some of these models, right? So, for example, Flow is another update from Google. It's another one. It's honestly, like, it's super hard to keep up. So what I'm talking about here is Flow, which is a new AI-powered filmmaking tool with Veo 3. So I'm just going to mute this and I'll show you an example. So if we pull this up, for example, you can now build your own sort of film scenes using Veo 3 and Flow. So if we say backseat of a 1970s taxi of worn zebra print, cloth with jellyfish underwater, let's see what it comes up with. That's what we get, my friends. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. It's like CGI, but better. I mean, like, I don't know how old all of you are, but when I was in the 90s growing up, film didn't look as good as this. This looks way better. I mean, if that's the future of filmmaking, then Netflix and stuff like that is going to get absolutely crazy, and Hollywood may get demolished or have a lot less people working for them, right? Let's be honest. So let's have a look at an example right here. So flow is inspired by what it feels like when time slows down and creation is effortless, iterative, and full of possibility. Basically, if you don't know what that means, like if you've ever heard of the word flow mode, right, where people are flowing and they're creative and that sort of thing, I guess that is what it's all about. It's about trying to capture that feeling. And so they've said behind the scenes, Gemini models make prompting intuitive, so you can describe your vision in everyday language. You just say what you want, and then it comes out and tells you what it needs to, right? But here's the other thing. It's kind of like Runway Gen 3, if you've checked that out, or Gen 4. But you can see here, for example, we've got key features to unlock storytelling. So, for example, camera controls, scene building, asset management. Now, this is one of the most interesting ones, camera controls, because now you can basically change the motion, the angles, the way the film is portrayed using this process. So you can say extend to, and then you can extend it to a new scene in terms of that camera shot. It's wild. It's wild. So again, if you're creative, you would probably use Gemini Ultra. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much you would use it. Also, Notebook LM has some updates as well. So they said, get access to the highest usage limits and enhanced model capabilities later this year with Ultra. You got Gemini and Chrome, which is going to be very interesting. So they've said, starting tomorrow, get early access to Gemini directly within the Chrome browser. This allows you to understand complex information, blah, blah, blah. One of the other most interesting ones is Jules, right? I don't know if you've seen this one. This is Jules.Google. And Jules.Google is basically another coding agent that seems to be free. So it's an asynchronous coding agent, as you can see. And then if we click on Try Jules, I think this is available to start trying, as you can see right here. They have said Jules is experienced high and low because it's just been released as well. But it's basically an asynchronous development agent, right? So it can tackle like bugs, small feature requests, and other engineering tasks, and export directly to GitHub, directly inside Jules. So you can see all the crazy updates, everything that's been announced. Very, very exciting times. I mean, if you remember the days of when Bard came out in 2023, Google was kind of like way, way behind. And now if you look at them, they're serious competitors. Like they're serious competitors for leading the race and becoming probably the biggest AI company in the world and dominating the US market, right? Like the stuff that I see that comes out from Google now is number one, coming faster, and number two, it's more advanced. So I think that's basically it for the updates. I want to show you another example here. So inside, for example, AI Studio, you can see some of the latest updates directly inside here. We'll be testing them later. But you can see, for example, we've got Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview 0520 with, and that's the latest Flash model that's just come out. Now you can use it. I don't have my billing details plugged in here, but I can use Gemini Flash for free inside AI Studio. And that is the latest model that you can select right there if you just go to Gemini 2.5 and then 2.5 Flash Preview. And Veo 3 is the other one. So let's run over Veo 3, all right? So this is another update. It just came out few hours ago, as you can imagine, and this is Veo 3, right? So basically you can just get a better quality output from Veo 3. So let's play this now. We'll have a cheeky gander and see what we got here. So here's a prompt: a medium shot historical adventure setting, warm lamplight illuminates a cartographer. And then the cartographer says, according to this old sea chart, the Lost Island isn't a myth. We must prepare an expedition immediately, right? And then if we open this up,
Lost Island isn't. According to this old sea chart, the Lost Island isn't myth. We must prepare an expedition immediately.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you can just generate a scene that looks like this with a prompt, perfect audio, and it looks really cool. Let's try another one. So this is a medium shot historical adventure setting, blah, blah, blah. Let's open up. Pretty nice. Sorry, the prompt was down there. A low angle shot shows an open light purple door, blah, blah, blah. Right? So it is right now in private preview on Vertex AI, but it's going to be available more broadly in the coming weeks. And you can fill out this form if you want to get access. If you want to get access to that, I'll include the form inside the AI Success Lab, so you can add the resources here. So you can see a link to the Veo 3 application form there if you want to get access. All right, but that's basically it for all the updates. We've talked about Gemini Ultra, Flash, Pro Deep Think, Gemma 3N, Veo 3, all the crazy stuff. And if you want to get access to all the notes from today, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. This also comes with all my best agents, NA10 workflows, all sorts of crazy stuff, browser use, AI agents, outbound call agents, like almost anything that you can think of, plus a community of 6,600 people that you can join inside the AI Success Lab to learn more about AI, right? And if you want to get support, if you want to get help, if you want to get coaching, if you want to get DM support, if you want to be able to ask a community and people questions and then get your answers quickly, then feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. This community is focused on one thing: making you more money and saving you time. That's what it's all about, right? And it comes with, for example, weekly coaching calls. We're actually going to be introducing 3 calls, but we will be increasing the price. So if you sign up now, you're going to lock in your discount price before the prices go up, and we'll give you that price lifetime, right? So make sure you sign up now before the prices go up for the coaching. And then also inside the community here, you can ask any questions you have. So for example, Andy or asked a question about Replit 5 hours ago. I got back to him within 1 hour. That's how fast we move here, right? And you can post questions inside the community, get any help that you want. Not just that, but it also comes with all of these amazing courses. You can watch back the Q&A call recordings, and you can DM us, right? So if you need support, you can DM us, ask the community, jump on the coaching calls, just get all the support that you need to make sure that you can grow your business, all right? Link in the comments description, and appreciate you watching. What questions we got in between the next section? So Richard Snyder says Google is crushing the others. I would agree. El Sueño Mexicano says, I was thinking of buying an iPhone, but I think Android is better now. It is pretty crazy. Gemini 1.0 Ultra model. What is that? Has that come out? Let's have a look here. Let's pull this up, peeps. Well, this is interesting. I've not even seen this one. Has this just been announced as well? When did that come out? So they've said Gemini 1.0 Ultra, our largest model for highly complex tasks. 1.0 Ultra is optimized for high quality output across complex tasks like code and reasoning. Let's view the tech report. Ultra capable, blah, blah, blah. Here's the benchmarks. It's looking pretty awesome. When did this one come out? Interesting. Let's just have a look at some examples. I think this is quite an old announcement, right? I've not seen any news on Gemini 1.0 Ultra today or in any of the announcements. But if you have more information on that, feel free to let us know, peeps, all right? All right, so Today we're going to be talking about the new updates from Gemini 2.5 Flash. So if you've not seen this, Google announced some brand new updates for Gemini 2.5 Flash. You can see the benchmarks here in terms of how it performs, etc. This has new capabilities, including native audio output and improvements to the Live API. So the Live API will actually allow you to use a preview version of audio and visual input and native audio out dialog. So what does that mean? Well, for example, what you can actually do is get outputs from the API when you're coding using Gemini 2.5 Flash, and it will actually talk to you. Let's run an example.
Model can converse in more expressive ways. It can capture the really subtle nuances of how we speak. It can even seamlessly switch to a whisper like this.
So you see how it's like switching between different tonalities, different types of voices, etc. And this is inside the Gemini API, and it will be available later today, as you can see. If you want to get access to the Gemini API, all you need to do is just go over to AI Studio and you can get access to that stuff.
But then, ये हिंदी या किसी भी और भाषा में switch कर सकता है. And switch back, all with the same voice.
So you see how it switches between like foreign languages, stuff like that. That's basically one of the new features that you can get directly. So pretty crazy stuff. And it's absolutely amazing what you can do now. And if we keep going through now, if you want to get access to this, let me show you exactly how. So if we go over to AI Studio, you can go in the top right here and start using Gemini Flash Preview, as you can see over here at the top right. And then from here, you can start coding, right? So for example, we take a example prompt. I'll take some examples from the AI Profit Boardroom just for prompts and examples. So if we go to SAP section, then we're going to go to the master list of prompts. And we'll just try this one, all right? And see how it is. Now, I don't know how good this API is. I just want to test it and see if it is any good or not. So we're using the 0520 model as well. That's important to note. So you want to make sure that you selected 0520 in the outputs. And it should be really fast as well when it's coming back to us. So it's also got thinking enabled inside there as well. So you can switch between thinking and no thinking mode on the right hand side. El Sueño Mexicano says, when is the price going to increase? So we'll probably increase it next month. I think we'll get the coaching very soon. And then we'll be doing the 2 coaching sessions inside the AI Profit Boardroom twice a week, 2 to 3 times a week. If people want them every day, we can probably extend to that as well. The main thing is just making sure that you get the best training you possibly can inside the community and that you get value, right? That's what the game is all about. So make sure you sign up now, link in the comments and description before you miss out on that. So we're going to take the code like so, and then what we can do is just preview that. So let's go over to liveweave.com. In fact, I think we just built that in P5.js, right? Let's have a look. Yeah, P5.js scene. Okay, let's go to that. Now we're going to plug this in. And we'll hit play on that. There we go, we've got the Dino Runner. And that's what we've just built. Pretty impressive that you can just build that out in one single prompt. Honestly, I think the older version of Flash wouldn't have done that so well. And also, we just use that for free, right? We didn't pay any money. I haven't got my credit card details plugged into AI Studio yet, but you can just build this out. Pretty crazy. Now, for Gemini 2.5 Pro DeepThink, some people are asking questions about that. I don't think it's available publicly to try yet, unless you're like a tested tester, right? Unless you're a trusted tester, right? So for example, if we go to the settings over here, Gemini 2.5, we won't find DeepThink mode as far as I can see. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I can't see deep think mode inside here. If we go over to Gemini, we've got 2.5 Pro preview, but there's no deep think mode. And Veo 2 is still in there for some reason, so Veo 3 is not being released inside there directly yet. But we can use 2.5 Flash, and that is the new model from Gemini. So there's two ways to use it. You can use it inside gemini.google.com. You can also use it inside AI Studio. All right. So let's go back to our list of prompts, and we'll try another one now. So can you create a simple 3D car simulator? By the way, if you want like some actual money making sort of tips for building this stuff, feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom. But inside here, we're just going to plug in another prompt, see what we get back. You can also switch on grounding with Google Search, which will connect this API to the internet as well when you're searching with it, which is pretty crazy. Now you can see that's coding it out, right? The thing that's really like the big differentiator here is like, number one, if you're coding at scale and you do need to pay for the API at that point, then it's going to be a lot cheaper to build stuff out. So I think you'll see a lot more apps and tools being developed with it, but also it's going to allow audio output and input in the API starting from later today. And additionally, it's really, really fast, right? So it's a lot faster even when we've toggled on the thinking mode of Flash Preview. Just going to go back and start a new chat, and then we'll try this out. So just make sure you do have Pro Preview selected, so Flash Preview, and then we just need to cope with that, all right? Now, if you want to get access to this as well, another way to get access for a paid method, is you can go over to models inside OpenRouter, and then you'll see Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview plus 2.5 Flash Thinking Preview, right? So if we compare these two different options here, you can see that with Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview, Thinking Mode enabled, it's going to cost 0.15 cents. So it's going to cost 15 cents per million input tokens, right? And it's got a million token context window, as you can see as well. Now, if we go over to 2.5 Flash Preview with no thinking allowed, it's actually the same price, right? So it's 0.15 dollars per million input tokens, but for output tokens, it's a lot cheaper to use the non-thinking mode, right? So here you can see it's $3.50 per million output tokens. Whereas if you go over to Flash Preview, without thinking mode enabled, you can see here it says $0.6, so 60 cents per million output tokens. So it's like 20% of the price. So if we go over to our car simulator now, and we'll see how we're getting on. Now we'll paste that in, hit play, and that one actually doesn't work, right? So when we've tested that, I think that's because it's not P5.js, right? If we go up, yeah, single HTML. So let's just test it out inside LiveWeave, and we'll see how that performs. Plug that in. Here's the output, and that is a game built. Boom. Let's just make sure it works. So we can change the camera angle, and we can drive the car. You can go backwards and forwards, switch the camera angle. We've got a train coming at us. Let's dodge that. Here we go. And now we'll keep driving forward. It's not the best game ever created, but to be fair, it was free and it was easy to build, right? And it did work first time round, so fair play to them. Now, another way you can use this is you can go directly inside the chat here. Honestly, if I'm building out with Flash Preview, then the way that I build it out here is inside AI Studio. If you want to like code something a bit more impressive, then I would go over to Visual Studio Code. So let's go inside here. Go to Visual Studio Code, and then we go down to a tool like Klein or RuCode. We can start using this, right? Now, one thing to note here is inside the AI Success Lab, which is completely free, you can get my full SOP on basically building and automating anything with Gemini 2.5 Flash, right? So if you want to get all these different ways of coding and building stuff out, whether it's a browser use agent, make.com, NA10, Klein, etc. If you want to learn how to use Klein, you can get all the SOPs and the step-by-step instructions for setting this stuff up. Like you can see right here, we've got full processes for everything, right? And that's inside the AI Success Lab. So feel free to get that. It's completely free. Link in the comments description. So as we go through now, let's start building stuff out. We're going to open up, I'm just going to close Copilot Agent. Close that. Okay, good to go. Let's go inside Klein. Then we're going to go inside the settings. We want to build for free, right? So if we want to build for free, we're going to select Gemini. And then over here, we'll go back to AI Studio. Grab the API key. Again, full SOP, if you want to slow this stuff down and just get the easy mode, you can just get it from the AI Success Lab, which is free. And then we'll go back in here. We'll plug in the API key. We'll hit save on that. And then from here, we can start building out, right? So if we say, for example, okay, create a sleek, modern landing page for SEO. Let's go with that. And then we just need to make sure in the models section of Google Gemini, we need to select the latest model from Gemini. All right. So you can see there's a bunch of options here. I can't actually see 2.5 Flash Preview, the latest version inside here. I just want to check Klein's Twitter. Sometimes they'll make an announcement if you can use it. So let's have a look here. Yeah, so you can see here they've said Gemini 2.5 Flash 0520, which is the latest model, is live and Klein. This might be the best value you can use, etc. So you can get access. So if we go over to Klein, let's have a look here. I think the way that you'd have to use it is actually use OpenRouter to code with this inside Klein. So if we go to OpenRouter, you can get an API key in the top right. Then we'll go back over to Visual Studio Code. We're going to select OpenRouter. Then we're going to select .5. And I assume you go with Flash Preview, right? So we'll hit save there. And then from there, we can start building out. Then from here, we can run the command. So you can see how fast that is to build stuff out. Let's run the command here. Honestly, from what I can see, that probably needs some improvement. So I would go back inside here and just be like, right, okay, make it beautiful, sleek, modern, etc. But yeah, that's basically how you can build stuff out, right? So you can use AI Studio, you can use Gemini, you can use it inside Klein, etc. and it's all available to access. So if you want to get access to all of my best SOPs for using all the new Gemini updates, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. This comes with tons of automations, including like NA10 outbound appointment setters, this Slack automation. We've got all these different updates coming every single day, so make sure you don't miss out on that. It's completely free inside the AI Success Lab community. Comes with 6,700 members, as you can see right here. And also, if you want to upgrade, you want to get support, if you want to join a community more focused on making money and saving time with AI, feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Comes with weekly coaching, lots of support inside the community, and also all of my best agents, tips, templates, and workflows. Feel free to ask any questions before we move on to the next thing. So today we're going to be, let's have a look here. Today we're going to be having a look at the latest Gemini 2.5 Flash preview, how to build anything and automate anything. So today I'm going to show you all of the best ways to use Gemini 2.5 Flash preview, which is a new update from Google, just got announced a few hours ago, to build and automate almost anything that you can imagine. All right, so we're going to get straight into this. The first way that you can actually start using Gemini is if you go to gemini.google.com, then you're going to select 2.5 Flash, and that will use the latest model to build whatever you want, right? So for example, here, if we go inside Gemini now, and we're going to select Canvas, and this will allow us to not just build with Flash, but also to build apps with a live preview. So let's go inside here, we'll use 2.5 Flash, we'll select Canvas, and then we're going to say something like, okay, create a drawing app for me. That's going to code it out, and once it's ready, it will also give you a live preview. So you can actually check this out as a live preview and code out really fast. So you can see here we've got the simple drawing app, and let's test it and make sure it works. So if we go inside here, we can have a go, and you can see that the drawing app works perfectly. All right, you can change the color over here, and we're good to go on that. Not only this, but with Gemini 2.5 Flash, it is really, really fast to build out. And additionally, you can actually host it on a subdomain. So if we click on share in the top right, then it's going to create a link for us. If we click on that link, we've now got the shareable app ready to deploy, and it's ready to go, as you can see. So let's just test this out. There we go. drawing app built in literally one click, one prompt, worked perfectly. Now, I would honestly say like 2.5 Flash has got a lot better since its update today. It seems to be faster, seems to be easy to use. And if you just want to code out stuff, I would recommend just going directly to gemini.google.com, simply because you can get the live preview and it's quite easy to deploy stuff as a one-click domain. Now, if you want to, for example, get the code for this, you can go to try without canvas, and then it will give you the code directly inside the chat as well. Next up, one of the other ways that you can start using this is inside AI Studio. And again, this is a free way to get access to it. So you can go to Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview in the top right. Under the settings, so go to 2.5, then Flash Preview. And then inside here, you can start coding. Now, inside here as well, you can also do like native image generation, check out other apps. You can easily get the access to the API as well from Gemini, and then we can start coding. So, for example, if we take a prompt that I've just built with, we'll go to the history. We created this endless runner game using 2.5 Flash Preview. And literally all we said was make me a captivating endless runner game, key instructions on the screen, P5JS, no HTML. I like pixelated dinosaurs and interesting backgrounds. Coded that out perfectly, pretty quickly as well. And we were using the new thinking mode from Gemini 2.5 Flash as well. And then if we go over to P5JS, editor.p5js.org, if you want to check this out, paste this in, hit play, test this out, and there we go. Game is working perfectly, right? And again, you can just build this out for free in one prompt, one shot, works really well, gives you a little score, has some decent UI. I mean, you can improve the UI, but if you go back and forth with it, you're going to get better results. You can see exactly how to do it. So just to recap here, you can build and deploy apps using Gemini 2.5 Flash directly inside gemini.google.com. If you want to create code and then preview it, so for example, this P5JS game, then you would create the code directly inside AI Studio and then go over to p5js.editor.org and plug that code in and start playing it. Okay, so those are two different ways that we can use this. Additionally, what we can also do is we can go over to something like Klein. So let's go over to Visual Studio Code and Klein. And by the way, if you're wondering, okay, how do you set this stuff up, or where are all the links, etc., how do you get access to all this stuff, you can just get access to the full SOP on building and automating with Gemini directly inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments description. Basically shows you how to build anything and automate anything with Gemini 2.5. And everything that I'm showing you today has been broken down into step-by-step tutorials and guides, so you can steal this stuff from me. Right? So let's go back into Visual Studio Code over here, and then we're going to run a new task. And inside Klein, inside our extension Klein, we're going to go to Settings, Open Router, and we're going to select Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview from the options. Now, Klein have actually officially confirmed that Flash, the new model, is directly inside here. And you can switch between different APIs as well directly inside the chat here. You can also use Google Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview thinking mode here as well. And then we can hit save on that. And from here, we can build whatever we want. So for example, we say just something quick and basic to show you, exactly what you can build. Let's say something like, okay, build out and we'll take some examples from the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description if you want to join this community of coaching, etc. on AI. But we can say here, okay, create beautifully designed snow day calculator, SEO optimized for the keyword of actual content on the page and a relevant tool. Right, we'll go inside there. And then we'll also say, right, make this a pink gradient with fun emojis, plus make it look sleek, modern, and beautiful, plus add FAQs, like so. All right. Then we can hit enter. Make sure that you've got the right API selected, hit enter like so, and that's going to start coding out. What you can also do is inside root code, if you paste the same sort of prompt, you can go inside here and you can click the AI button, and that will actually improve the prompt for you if you want to get better prompts, or just make your prompts more detailed. But you can see how it's basically instantly building this out, creating the code for us, and we really didn't have to create much work there at all. Jose Pinto says, good one. and that's building this out. Now we're going to hit run command. We'll open that up. We've got the SEO snow day calculator built out. Now, being 100% honest, the UI of this does not look very nice. So what I would normally do is either I'm going to be very patient and go back and forth with Gemini Flash for ages, or I can switch now to Anthropic, and then inside Anthropic, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and then inside here we can say, okay, make the UI more beautiful, sleek, modern, interesting. All right, and then Claude 3.7 Sonnet is just a lot better for improving the prompts and improving the UI on the actual code that you build. All right, so that's what I'd recommend. Now we're going to close that because I've shown you how to build with Client. You've seen how to build with Gemini. You know how to build with AI Studio. What's next? So what we can also do is we can go over to NA10, and you can build out workflows with NA10 using Flash as well. Right? So if we go inside na10.io, this is a really powerful tool for building out automation. So for example, like I've built out voice automation, Slack bots, all sorts of agents inside NA10. And if we go inside create workflow here, we'll just create a little basic example. In fact, what I can do is, create workflow. Then we can put this as a chat trigger just to show you a really basic example of what we can build. And then we're going to add an AI agent. Inside the AI agent module, what you want to do is just add chat model. And you could either use like Google Gemini chat model and create a new credential there, or we can delete that. So let's close that. And then inside here, we could select Open Router. Open Router, we can add a credential inside here. So let me show you how to get that. You're just going to go over to Open Router, select keys, create API key, type it in, copy that, go over to NA10 again, paste in the API key, hit save, X off that, select the model, and then you can see you can use Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview 0520 and also thinking mode. Now, if you're building out an agent and it doesn't require much thinking, you just want instant responses, then you should just use Flash Preview and you're good to go on that, right? So if we want to test this out, I'm just going to put some system instructions inside the AI agent. So let's say you're a helpful assistant, and we'll say, okay, what is 100 times 40? It's running the AI agent, as you can see, and because it's Flash, it's really good for building out AI agents. And then if we open this up, it said, right, here's how to calculate 100 times 40. Here's what you do. And then it's giving us the answer right there. All right. So that's how you can build AI agents as well. If you want to just steal that example from me, I'll actually download the JSON, and then inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments and description, completely free. You can download that JSON from me. Here you go. And you can grab the example NA10 agent. And all your agents that you use, you can just switch to Flash if you want to as well, just by changing the chat model that branches off, right, as you can see. So just to recap here, we've talked about Gemini and building apps directly in there. We've talked about AI Studio and how to code with that. We've talked about Visual Studio Code and how to code with that. And we've also talked about how to build AI agents using NA10 as well. So you can see the power of this and how easy it is to build out almost anything that you want using Gemini in this process. Let's keep going now. So what we can also do, let me leave there. I just need to delete that API key as well. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to start using something called Bolt DIY. All right. Bolt DIY is like an offline version of Bolt where you can code with it directly, and you can also use Gemini Flash inside here. So if you want to set this up quickly, pretty simple. SOP inside the AI Success Lab, which is completely free for you to get access. And if we go inside the instructions, we'll do a direct installation, paste that in. Then we'll pm install that. And literally all you're doing is just copying and pasting, right? It's pretty simple. And then we're just going to do that. Now, if we need to pull in the latest model from Bolt, we can just grab this. We can plug that into Claude and say how to set up. And if you have any issues like you see over here, we can just go back in here and say, okay, help with this. And then we'll copy this. And paste that in. Right. Now what that's going to do is start running Bolt DIY locally, so we can build with it. If we copy that local address, then we'll open that up in a new tab. Now you can see we can start coding with Bolt, and if you select Open Router, and then you can choose Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview here, and just get access to 2.5 Pro Preview to start building stuff out. Right. Now you just need an API key, so you can get that from Open Router. Let's go to keys in the top right, create API key. It's good practice to just give it a name you can actually remember, and then we'll copy that code, go back into Bolt, plug that in, and say, okay, build a SEO calculator, right? Something like that. I'm just showing you basic examples for the video before anyone comments and saying, you know, this isn't that impressive, etc. And now that should start coding out. Now, the only issue you're going to have with this is sometimes this runs a little bit slowly depending on how fast your laptop is. But you can see it coding on the right hand side using Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview. But again, you would just switch to Flash Preview if you want, right? So we can switch to Flash Preview, which is the latest model. And then we can say, okay, make the UI more beautiful. And if we select that text and then click on the AI section under here, it will actually improve the prompt so that we get better outputs. So let's wait for that to run. As you can see, then we're going to enter. And you can just improve it as you want, right? Or code whatever you want step by step. It does take a little bit of back and forth, but honestly, like the outputs worked first time round, so that's good as well. And then if you ever want to shut this down, we could just quit the terminal, terminate that. We'll delete the API key. And we're good to go on that, right? So that's basically how you can build anything with Gemini 2.5 Flash, the new version. So we've talked about local with Llama, Bolt DIY. We've talked about, sorry, we didn't talk about Llama. We talked about Bolt DIY, Client and Visual Studio Code. We talked about NA10, AI Studio, Gemini, etc. All the SPs inside the AI Success Lab if you want to get free access to this. plus an awesome community of 6,700 members that you can ask any questions to. On top of that, if you want to get help, support, tips, etc. implementing this stuff, feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments and description. This basically focuses on just more practical use cases and supports you with trying to implement this stuff, because we all know, for example, it can get complicated, you're not sure how to use it, maybe you need help and support actually implementing it and you get some bugs, etc. This is one of the best places to go to help you support you on your journey towards using AI, saving time, making money with AI, right? And you can also post inside the community, you can DM us, you can jump on the weekly live calls, as you can see inside the calendar. And also inside the classroom, we have tons of training on all different sorts of agents and our crash course, which is absolutely amazing for learning how we've actually implemented AI in our business to make money. So feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Price is going up next month, so make sure you lock in your lifetime deal now, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers, bye-bye.